12 hours ago, I was standing in the freezing rain on a Manhattan sidewalk, watching a guy named Marcus throw my mattress onto the back of a flatbed truck. My hands were shaking, not just from the New York winter, but because my bank account was sitting at exactly $0.00. I couldn't pay my rent. But as I stood there, shivering in a thin jacket, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. A bright, neon purple notification lit up the screen, decorated with digital confetti. It said, "Congratulations, Alex! You have officially unlocked Diamond Elite status. Your complimentary birthday pastry token is now active." I stared at that little animated pastry on my screen, and then I looked at my mattress getting soaked in the rain, and I started laughing. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind of terrifying, unhinged laugh you make when you finally realize you've been completely, utterly broken by a system you thought you were outsmarting. I had no place to sleep, no money for dinner, but hey, at least a multi-billion-dollar corporation considered me a Diamond Elite member. I was a premium slave. If you're sitting there right now, staring at your phone, exhausted, trying to figure out how you spent your entire paycheck on things you can't even remember buying, I need you to listen to me very carefully. I am not some financial guru sitting in a mansion telling you to stop buying lattes. I am the guy who just lost his apartment because I let a bunch of smartphone apps gamify my poverty. 6 months ago, things were already bad. The tech company I was freelancing for cut my contract. Suddenly, my income plummeted, but my rent didn't. The price of eggs at the bodega down the street doubled. A basic burrito cost $15. I felt this constant, suffocating weight in my chest every single morning. I felt like I was drowning, and I was desperately looking for any kind of life jacket. That's when I discovered what I thought was a secret financial superpower. I decided I was going to game the system. I downloaded every single loyalty app available. Fast food apps, grocery store rewards, coffee shop cards. If it had a point system, it was on my phone. I remember the first week felt incredible. I would open the McDonald's app and it would show me a little circular progress bar. It was 80% full. The app told me that if I just spent $4 more, the bar would complete and I would unlock a free large order of fries. My brain lit up. That little hit of dopamine felt amazing. For a guy who felt like a total failure in every other area of his life, completing that circle felt like a massive victory. I was winning. I started planning my entire life around these apps. I would look at a local, family-owned coffee shop right across the street from my apartment. The coffee there was amazing, the owner knew my name, and it cost $3. But I would look at my phone, see that Starbucks was offering Triple Star Tuesday, and I would walk 5 blocks through a bitter windstorm just to buy a $6 caramel macchiato. I told myself I was being smart. I told myself I was farming points. I was depositing my real, hard-earned cash into the Starbucks app, and the moment that money turned into a digital balance, something dangerous happened in my head. It stopped feeling like real money. It felt like Monopoly money. It felt like video game currency. I didn't feel the pain of spending it anymore. I was just a player trying to level up my character from silver to gold. Then the real nightmare began. My laptop, the one tool I needed to find a new job and make freelance videos, completely died. The screen went black and never came back on. I went to the big electronics retail chain downtown, my heart in my throat, knowing I didn't have the cash to buy a new one. The guy behind the counter looked at my declined debit card, sighed, and then leaned in like he was doing me a massive favor. He told me that if I opened their store credit card right now, I would get 10% off the laptop immediately, plus I would earn 10,000 bonus loyalty points, which would instantly launch me into their Platinum VIP tier. I looked at that digital progress bar on his tablet. I thought about how cool it would feel to walk into the store next time and be recognized as a Platinum member. I thought about the rewards. My logical brain completely shut down. I signed the paperwork. I didn't check the fine print. I didn't care that the interest rate on that card was 32%, which is practically financial suicide. All I cared about was that I had hacked the system. I got my laptop and I got my shiny new Platinum status. But once that trap snaps shut around your ankles, the walls start closing in fast. You develop this irrational, terrifying obsession with protecting a title that doesn't actually exist. The app started sending me urgent notifications every single day, urgent warnings, fear of missing out. One Tuesday night, I was exhausted, lying on my bed, staring at the ceiling, when my phone screamed at me, red text, "Your 5,000 loyalty points are expiring in 48 hours. Act now to save your Platinum status." Panic hit me like a physical blow. Psychological research says the pain of losing something is twice the intensity of the joy of gaining it. The corporations know this. They engineered it. I didn't need anything. I didn't want to go shopping, but my caveman brain couldn't handle the thought of losing those points. It felt like someone was stealing from me, so I got dressed, got on the subway, and went back to the store. I spent $60 on a high-end mechanical keyboard I didn't even want just to save $5 worth of points and keep my platinum badge. I walked out of the store clutching that box, feeling this sickening mix of a dopamine rush and deep, hollow shame. I was bleeding real American dollars to save digital dust. By the end of the month, the bills came due. The interest on the credit card exploded. My phone was an absolute war zone of notifications. Every major brand had a piece of my brain. I was buying clothes I didn't wear from retail apps just because they offered double points on Thursdays. I was buying extra sides of chicken wings I couldn't finish just to complete a digital bingo card on a food app. My debt was compounding at 32% while my rewards were worth pennies. I was running faster and faster on a hamster wheel designed by elite behavioral psychologists, and I was running myself straight into poverty. The ultimate betrayal happened last week. I had been sacrificing everything, eating terrible food, and choosing the most expensive options for 6 months straight, solely to accumulate 50,000 points on my main grocery app. I was hoarding those points like a dragon because I knew rent was coming up, and I needed to use those points to get $200 worth of actual, real groceries so I could save my cash for the landlord. I treated those 50,000 points like my emergency fund. They were my safety net. On Thursday morning, I woke up, opened the app to finally redeem my rewards, and a tiny gray box popped up on the screen. It read, "Terms and conditions update. Effective immediately, we have optimized our loyalty structure. To ensure a premium experience, 50,000 points can now be redeemed for a $20 gift card." I sat on the edge of my bed staring at that screen for 5 minutes, completely numb. They had devalued it. Overnight, with a single line of code written by a software engineer in Silicon Valley, 90% of my financial safety net was wiped out. They didn't ask for my permission. They didn't care about my loyalty. They didn't care that I walked through the rain and spent extra money with them for half a year. They owned the bank. They wrote the rules, and they changed the currency whenever they felt like it. I realized with absolute, brutal clarity that reward points are the single worst currency on the planet. They are an illusion. They are a ghost of the real money you already lost. I had given these multi-billion-dollar conglomerates a massive, interest-free loan funded by my own sweat and anxiety, and in return, they gave me a digital pat on the back and then robbed me in plain sight. That was the day the landlord called. I didn't have the cash. The cash was gone, scattered across a dozen different retail apps, trapped in digital wallets, or spent on useless junk to fill up progress bars. And that's how I ended up on that sidewalk watching my life get loaded onto a truck while my phone congratulated me on my Diamond Elite status. I'm telling you this ugly, embarrassing truth because I want you to look at your phone right now. Look at those pretty little icons. They are not tools to save you money. They are psychological weapons designed to turn your life into a video game where the house always wins. If a corporation offers you a program for free, you are not the customer. You are the product. They are buying your spending data, tracking your habits, and locking you into their ecosystem for the price of a cheap latte. But I'm not going to let them win anymore, and you shouldn't either. Yesterday, I sat down in a cheap diner, opened my phone, and I started the counterattack. I didn't just turn off my notifications, I went into the settings of every single retail app and completely deleted my accounts. I wiped my data. I cut off the supply line. If I need to buy something from now on, I will open a browser, I will look at the price, and I will make a conscious, real-world decision based on my actual needs, not based on an aggressive email marketing campaign screaming at me at 3 in the morning. Next, I implemented what I call the reverse ROI rule. I took a piece of paper and wrote it down. From now on, before I ever tap my card or press purchase to get points, I force myself to open the calculator. I ask one cold mathematical question: how much real currency am I forcing myself to spend right now just to get $1 of fake currency back? If I'm spending $20 real to get $1 worth of points, that is a pathetic 5% return. Then I look at the item and ask, would I buy this exact item right now if it was simply discounted by 5%? If the answer is no, I put it down and walk out of the store. No hesitation, no regret. But the most important thing I did was change my entire definition of status. I went to a local dollar store, bought a cheap notebook, and drew my own progress bar across the first page. That bar doesn't belong to Starbucks or Delta or McDonald's. It belongs to me. It represents my actual real-world emergency fund. Every single time I walk past a big chain store, every time I ignore an expiring points alert, every time I choose a local business that charges me less cash instead of a massive corporation that promises me digital stars, I take the cash I saved and I deposit it directly into my real bank account. Then I take a black marker and I fill in a piece of my own progress bar. Let me tell you something from a guy who has been at the very bottom of the corporate loyalty trap. There is no membership card, there is no gold status, and there is no platinum title on this earth that looks as beautiful, as sophisticated, and incredibly powerful as a healthy, growing balance in your actual bank account. Stop being fiercely loyal to companies that view you nothing more than a fraction of a percent on a quarterly spreadsheet. It is time to start being fiercely, ruthlessly loyal to your own wallet, your own sanity, and your own freedom. We are going to rebuild this step by step, dollar by dollar. If you want to see exactly how I'm tackling the mountain of credit card debt from that 32% interest store card, click on the next video on your screen right now. I'll show